Welcome to the show. It is almost a Friday night. It's Thursday night. We're talking about the Descent movies tonight. If you want to support the Horror Syndicate, please like the Facebook page. Go hit subscribe on YouTube. Like every single video so it gets that little bit of boost, little boost. And check out all of our other videos. My goodness. Tonight we are talking about the Descent films, and there are two of them, and both are pretty fucking terrifying. We've got, for the most part, the usual suspects. We'll start with uh, do I call you Cage?
I don't know. Whatever you want to call me. I don't care.
I'm gonna call you late for dinner.
Late for dinner.
Bad joke. All right, we got Keith with us. Keith, are you feeling okay today?
Yeah. I'm medicated now, so
No. Looks like your hair's getting a little long there, buddy.
yeah, it hasn't been cut for months.
Let it go. Just let it go.
Hey, it used to be like down to my shoulders.
That's awesome. If I could do it, I would do it. But I ain't got anything going on up there. You've seen, or up here. Anyway, next up we've got our good friend Jarhead.
What up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Long day at work, but I'm ready to talk some Descent movies.
Yeah, the Descent movie. I think it's a consensus. I think we all pretty much like them. I know this dude right here, Nate. I know this is your special request for the year, isn't it? The Descent movies, films.
It was one, yeah. It's one of the best horror films that no one talks about.
The Descent, or was it something else?
The Descent. That's one of the ones that I thought doesn't get enough attention. I don't know why. Because you mentioned it. I mentioned it on my page, and everybody was just like, "Oh, so underrated, so great."
You know, I know exactly why. It's not streaming anywhere like Netflix or whatever.
No.
You know, it's
Yeah.
oh shit. Okay, you know, it's not streaming on Netflix, and you know that causes a problem right there. It's not on Netflix. It doesn't exist. Am I wrong though? Like,
I mean, through some people, yeah. If it's not streaming somewhere, like they've never heard of
yeah.
it.
It's like I get that question every now and again when I post that I'm watching a movie and I don't post the disc. They're like, "Where are you watching this?" I'm like, on my Blu-ray player. You know?
Yeah, I usually take a picture of my case, and then if I'm streaming, it's usually just the poster. Mostly.
Yeah, I like posting. It seems like it gets a good response. I like posting, trying to be creative with where I set the case up and all that stuff. Real fast, we are doing the movie ratings. The Descent is a 4.4 out of 5, guys. So that means it's good, and our fans know it. Our followers, fans, whatever. I hate calling people fans, but for some reason, the Descent Part 2 is a 3. It's not doing as well. I don't know why. I'm watching it today, and I'm like, damn, this movie's just as terrifying as the first in some ways. Like what you said, Nate. I'm just trying to kind of jumping in about the main character, basically out of the frying pan into the fire right away, like right away, you know. So both good movies. We would definitely want to know what you guys think. Who saw this first? That's my question. I didn't see it till 2015. So
I saw
it wasn't me.
Saw it in theaters.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been great in theater.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember seeing it when it came out, but I don't remember if it was like
When you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
Your grandpa again. That guy. That guy's a legend, actually.
A legend.
Yeah, he's becoming a legend. Jared, what about you?
Yeah, I didn't get to see it in theaters. That would have been really cool, though.
Yeah.
I think I rented it when it first came out and then immediately bought it after that. But yeah, really great fucking movie.
The Descent, never seen it. I actually own it for now. Oh man, watch it. It's really good. It's rewarding. I think.
Yeah, that took half the runtime to type that message. Just watch
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, check it out. It's not streaming. More than likely, you'll have to find it on DVD or Blu-ray.
It's streaming on Prime, but you have to watch it with ads.
With ads, yeah. I say that doesn't count for me, but I can't sit through ads.
I
especially
I usually will not, but we're doing a show on it, so I was like,
right.
And then there isn't a U.S. release for the Blu-ray for number 2, so I couldn't get it here in time.
No, yeah. Because my Blu-ray for the first one is
It's one of those OG Blu-rays.
All of
isn't it?
them, you know. Well, you can watch it anywhere. It's
Oh, okay.
region free, which is really cool. It's got the A, B, C, or whatever, the cluster.
Yeah.
Hi. So anyway, let's dig in. Where do you want to start, Nate? This is your baby. This is your show.
I thought we all liked it.
We
It
do.
was just a recommendation.
We do, but yeah, you're like, well, when you bounce for a little bit, you're like, I'll come back when we talk about the Descent. I'm like,
well, out of
Nate
the list we
loved
had,
that
I'm like,
movie.
well, out of the list we had, I was like, well, I want to be on that show.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, I hadn't watched it in a while. I don't watch movies. The last 15 years, I haven't had a chance to watch movies like I once did. So there are a lot of great horror movies I've seen in the last 15 years that I've seen once, maybe twice.
Mm-hmm.
The Descent, I've seen. I watched it. It was before I had a kid, so I saw it at least 5 times back then. But I hadn't watched it probably maybe since she was born. So, so it was a good way to revisit it. And revisiting, I was like, man, this is still so good. It's like it hasn't dated. It hasn't. It's still Neil Marshall's best film, in my opinion. I think back then, I still feel that way. I remember in the 2000s, if you'd asked me what's the best horror film of the 2000s, 2000 to 2009, The Descent is a contender. I think The Descent, because it hits on everything. The movie's genuinely scary. I think my feeling towards it was that it was like the best movie of its kind since Alien, because Alien is this very contained, dark, claustrophobic. You have nowhere to escape. You can't go anywhere out in space. You can't go anywhere in that cave. They're stuck, and you're like in this place with this monster that you can't see. It's in the dark, and you're just and then you get the female protagonists, and just the claustrophobic feel. I mean, the movie, thankfully, is extremely patient. Jared talked about how we don't see the creatures until about the 50-minute mark. So, but the thing is, the movie is not boring because it's dealing with the whole fear that I think most of us would have of being in a dark place, trapped, and the fear of crawling through those tight spaces and almost getting crushed by rocks. I mean, there's enough suspense going on without these creatures. So, and I think Neil wanted to do that, is he wanted to pile on so much tension that you're already at the brink, and then all of a sudden, oh, guess what? Here are these monsters. This is another one that happened. Then you also have the drama between the women and what they're going through, and then the trauma that she's getting over, Sarah's getting over. And also, I was thinking about that last night. All of these characters are really easily defined, and they're really good. The actresses are really good. They're all like gorgeous, but like it doesn't matter. Like it's not that they're gorgeous and can't act and they're not well written. Like they're all very well written and very well defined and have their own personalities and their own set skills and relationships. And I genuinely like all of them, and I like their roles in there. And much like I think it just goes with Neil Marshall's work. I mean, he didn't write this one. He had 2. I think it was written by 2 other guys. But I just think it's a really well crafted, character driven story. And because we spend that time with those women, going through all these trials of her losing her family, and just they're working and helping each other get through this whole scary situation of being trapped in this place. And then the one gets injured, so they're all taking care of each other. They're acting, and then all of a sudden you just like wild horses get released. I mean, it's like frantic, like it goes crazy, and like they're split up, and it's all hell's broke loose, and it's just kill or be killed, basically, at breakneck speed. It's a fucking great movie.
Where you're defining like the characters almost work like an arsenal in the tool bag for the movie, if that makes sense. Because like you have a doctor, you have like the experienced climber, and like you lose those tools, those characters through the movie. So like when the doctor dies, then like there's all like if anybody else gets hurt, they're kind of fucked. You lose the
Yeah.
experienced climber, and they're fucked there. I also like that they kind of like get rid of the safety net, kind of like
Mhm.
off the bat, because like everything's fine. They go to the cave, it's fine, and then yeah, they're caved in, but they're on a charted place. But then they get rid of that safety net to where Juno fucks them up and is like, "I'm gonna be stupid and take you all through an
Well, I mean, from the beginning,
uncharted cave."
from the beginning though, they get down into the hole into the pit or whatever it is, and she says there's no other way out, so except for forward or whatever. And then that scene, that cave in scene, is so fucking tense. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. That's even before we get to the cave dwellers or whatever they're called.
Yeah, she's like, "Fuck the rope bag."
It's like it goes. Okay, we can't get out this way. We got to go through the cave. Cool. Okay. Then the it caves in. Well, there's no way going back. So now what? It just keeps getting worse and worse. And then there's the blind albino cave people. It's like Jesus Christ.
I think the best
Good
thing that
work.
makes this movie stand out of like the 2000s era is I don't think there's any CGI in the movie whatsoever.
No, the whole thing's CGI.
Well, there's a few shots that are composited, like the bats flying out and things.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I forgot
subtle
about the
uses
bats.
there's
Yeah,
subtle
but they're
uses
so-
of CGI. The cave
But they're
opening
so
is like a matte painting. It's
Yeah, but they're so subtle that it doesn't
Yeah.
de-age it like a lot of 2000s movies.
We're not on
That
screen
was-
for very long.
well, the creatures aren't CGI. That's the big bonus.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
They're all
And
played by the same guy.
they're all played by actors so that they can get actual true performances out of them and not just acrobatics, and they have a little character to them. One thing I noticed today, so I'm always trying to pay attention to things. I put on the commentary today, and my daughter was watching it, and I said, I'm always trying to point out. She wants to be a filmmaker, so I'm always pointing out things. And I said, all right, you've watched the movie, so you know the characters. Like in the opening scene where they're on the whitewater rafting thing, I said, did you notice that the two girls who are friends are wearing blue and Juno's wearing red, so it separates her from the rest, from the other other two? I said, but I said, now that you know the story, so why do you think she's wearing red? And I noticed that she's wearing red through the whole movie. She's wearing red in that opening scene, then she's wearing red in the cave. But even when she's going through the woods, she's got an army jacket on. She's got red rope around her and a red backpack. And she's like, I don't know. And she hadn't. I asked my wife, and my wife said, "Scarlet Letter." I said, "Yeah, what was a scarlet letter?" She was the adulteress, right? She had committed adultery, so she's wearing red because that's just the kind of choices you make in costume design and all that. So I said there had to be a reason why she's so defined by red, because she's not even wearing it when she's not wearing, like, even when she's got other clothes on, they put red on her.
Yep.
Keep it on.
So there's a lot of subtle things in the beginning of the movie, like the whole build up, because like even just the raft thing, she's to the side talking with Paul, and then like one of the friends is like looking at them weird, like she knows about it, and then they subtle hint at her taking her medication, which they don't really delve into what the medication is, but you kind of comprehend what it is when she starts hallucinating and hearing her daughter laugh.
Yeah.
And then you have like the deer dead, and that's like the whole sacred deer thing.
Yeah, because
It's
there's
a
a lot of
bad sign. It's
Yeah.
a bad sign.
there's a lot of theories about what's really going on. Like some people think that, of course, with the different endings, that there's people who think she's the one that's killing all of the girls. That there's no monsters. It's just her. Then there's theories that she never made it to that cave. She died in the car crash. So there's all kinds of theories about what really happened with everything.
I was about to say that was my, because I'd never seen part 2 until the other day. That was my biggest issue of part 2, is it kind of like ruins
It does.
the ending of the first one for me. Because for me, I looked up the alternate ending like after I rewatched the first one, and for me, like the normal American ending, she doesn't get out of the cave. She's hallucinating her escape. because like whenever she like climbs up and she rests on that like slope, there's no like sunlight or anything, and then randomly there's just sunlight, and then obviously she escapes and gets in the car, and then there's
And everything's
randomly,
really
it's all
real
convenient.
Like there's the car, there's John's.
It starts,
Yeah.
but then there's like dead zombie Juno in her car, which makes absolutely zero sense. But then then you got the alternate ending, which is also kind of cool. And
I like I mean, that's the actual original ending. Is
that's
the
American ending, but
the Americans, they cut the part where she's still in decay because they thought it was too of a downer ending for American audiences. So
which makes zero sense.
Yeah. Well, they screen tested it for Americans, and they were bitching about it. Oh, it's such a down ending. I like that she escaped, but it's like but it also kind of negates like the whole movie. She's seeing her daughter with the birthday cake and all that stuff. So that's the big payoff at the end, where she's still seeing her daughter with the birthday cake, and it pulls back, and she's not there. She just looks.
Yeah, it's really cool. The usage of the torch is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Instead of the birthday candles. I like how they're like, that's too depressing for American audiences. Little do they know, years later we get a movie called Hereditary.
And this movie comes out when like Hostel and fucking Wolf Creek and all this shit's coming out. Saw, like, really, they couldn't handle that she didn't get out.
Yeah, it's super tame.
Yeah, but I've known people like that. I've had people. I talked to a guy one time about The Perfect Storm, which I haven't seen since it came out. But I'm like,
that's a great movie.
Did you watch it? He's like, I hated that movie. I'm like, why? He goes, it sucks. It's like, why did it suck? Because they all died at the end. It's like, yeah,
it's real life.
Well, it's a true story. Well, they shouldn't have died. I didn't want to watch that whole movie just to see them die. I'm like, it's those people who ruin movies.
It's like, supposed to evoke emotion in you.
Yeah, I don't like downer endings, and I don't like bad characters and mean characters. Like someone was talking about Scott Pilgrim. I was talking on my walk with my family today. We were talking about Scott Pilgrim, and someone said, I don't like that movie because Scott Pilgrim's a dick. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. That's what makes it funny. Like when like the first part where she comes in and he takes her coat and just drops it on the floor. Like,
you don't
a dick move. Shit. I was like, what would it be funnier if he hung it on a coat rack? I mean, it's funny that he drops it. Like, it's humor,
also
fucker,
based off of a book.
Yeah.
No, I'll say the other thing, the one thing I did. 2 is obviously like when you watch it, it's definitely like it was direct to video, right? Or it didn't get a US release, maybe.
I don't know offhand.
I was reading your thing. What was the question?
I was saying, did the sequel get a theatrical release, or or not in America? Didn't get a theatrical release.
I think that went straight to video.
I would say because you can when you watch that one, you can tell it's kind of straight to video. But I will I like that they went off the subtle things of the first one about like the mining helmet and the old climbing gear to take that and twirl it into the old mine thing.
Yeah,
which was really cool. The other thing is it's not just a shitty sequel like where it's just like another group of people get trapped in the cave with the
creature. Continuation.
Yeah,
well, it's like I brought it up. It follows Aliens because it's like you get the survivor, the whole survivor that they don't trust, and they take her right back into the belly of the beast, and like because she's been there, and
she didn't even get to sleep for like 100 years.
I think the sequel. The sequel's actually good. I remember thinking that when it came out, and a lot of people thought it sucked. But again, we're comparing it to one of the best horror films of that decade. It's kind of hard.
Number 2 on our list. I went back and checked, by the way.
Was it? Yeah, it was
our number 2. Number 1 was High Tension.
The big thing I noticed about the sequel is they kind of chickened out on the darkness. It's very well lit. Like the cave. The cave is not dark at all. In the first movie, they make a big thing about it being pitch black down there. And when you watch the first movie, they've got flashlights, and you're only seeing what that flashlight's pointing at. In the sequel,
and they comment on that a couple times. I mean, and then they use the glow sticks. They worrying about the flares. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why it was scary because you couldn't see where those fuckers were until they were right there. Which the second one does have. Okay, go ahead.
Just this was my favorite scene in the movie. At the very end when she's
crawling out the bones.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome when I saw that last. I forgot all about it. But anyway, I was looking for that this whole time you guys were talking. So I had to do
But
it.
it is. It's a very well, like when they're all like hanging out in the sequel, like you could see the entire cave, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what did they bring down some big Hollywood lights down there? Like what? Like all they have are their flashlights, so it's like
They're
you can see
professional.
them. Yeah, and it's just that was the only thing I thought, oh man, and yeah. But the thing about the sequel, it's not poorly made, and the guy that directed it's his only movie, and he was the editor of the first movie. And this guy's not like a nobody. Like this guy's edited Oscar-winning or Oscar-nominated films. He's worked with like almost all of Britain's big guys. Like he edited Snatch for Guy Ritchie.
I just watched that the other day. I love that movie.
He edited a lot of Danny Boyle's movies. Like he did 127 Hours.
I could see that.
And he's done a lot of Matthew Vaughn stuff. He's done some of the Kingsman movies. He did Kick-Ass. He's worked pretty steadily as an editor in some of England's biggest stuff. And I thought he did a pretty good job directing this one.
Well, that helped because me and Kayla were watching it. She was like, "I like how like almost all the characters are like Scottish and English, and we're in America." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think this movie's like actually made in America.
Well,
It's just supposed to be
The
American."
good thing about that is they come over to America because they mention the Appalachian Mountains, right?
Yeah, the first
So,
one.
so out by out in your stomping grounds there.
It's,
I just think
the Appalachian Mountains is massive. I think the movie takes place in like Tennessee. I think.
I think it's in your backyard.
It's in North Carolina.
North
It's on the
Carolina.
license plate. Yeah,
Take a
but yeah,
straight
like
up.
you said, the Appalachian Mountains go through Carolinas, the Virginias, Kentucky, Tennessee. It goes all the way up there.
Well, I thought the first movie had a big sign that said Chattanooga, which is in Tennessee.
Yeah, well, it's probably
Yeah.
right there on the
the border.
North Carolina and Tennessee are really
That's true.
there, so-
Actually, Chattanooga you go through one state, Tennessee twice. You leave Tennessee, go through North Carolina, and go back into Tennessee to go. It's weird.
yeah.
I've driven that many times because you go through one and it's right by Chattanooga. I have a story about Chattanooga, but
I just know that I noticed when they park their cars they have North Carolina plates on them. But yeah, they shot it in Scotland, I believe, because that's where Neil's from.
Well, Kayla kept pointing it out, and then we get to that one scene where that the dumbass cop shoots his revolver, and he's like, "Fucking trigger happy Americans," and I'm like, "Why are you here? Why are you in this country? Like, did you fly all the way down here to help find these hikers? I'm so confused."
It was definitely a tight squeeze in some spots.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kayla
man,
wasn't having fun with that. She
that
hates
scene-
claustrophobic stuff.
Oh man, it's hard to like when Sarah gets stuck in the rocks and has that great line where her
She
friend
sells it
Beth,
too, man.
yeah, when
fucking
Beth like
sells
is
that.
getting to her and says that line, "Look, the worst thing that could ever happen to you has already happened to you." That's a really powerful line, you know. And
Yeah.
you can get through this, and that's one of the things that's really the relationship between the friends. Even though you've got this conflict between Juno and Sarah, they're still helping each other. They're still friends. They're still, it's a complicated relationship.
Yeah. But even though you said they're still helping each other till the end.
Yeah, to the end. But at that point, she's
Fuck you, bitch.
fucking crazy. That part
They
where
stand
Sarah
face
goes
to face,
crazy.
and she just gives her this look, and then bam, it's like, oh my god, bitch
Yes,
went down.
I love that scene because
Down.
there's no dialogue. It's just them looking at
No.
each other, and you can
Yeah.
tell. You can just read it, and
I
it's so
forgot that happened
good.
until last night.
Yeah, Sarah goes very primal in both
That part-
movies.
That part where she like comes back to Juno and like she grabs her and pulls her in, and she looks up, and then she comes back and she's like looking at her, and Juno's just looking at her like, "What happened to you?" It's just you could see it in her eyes. The way she's got just blood everywhere. I was like, "Oh man, I love that."
That scene is where it all changed. I feel like when she falls into that, after she fights that one thing off, falls into the it's
To
not
the
water.
bloodbath.
The bloodbath.
To the
It's
bloodbath.
amazing looking. That whole scene is set up. Is
I
it weird
love
for
when
me to
she's
say
like-
beautifully?
Beautifully.
It is. It's so beautiful and so cool. Like that scene where she's laying on the rock and the thing's
Yeah.
crawling above her, and actually like touches her head and is leaning
Yeah.
on her head. And she's trying to stay
It
still.
pushes off too.
And when it
Yeah.
clods over her, the actor actually kicked her in the head, and they kept it in there because she doesn't
Yeah,
move.
I mean,
She stays there.
I was like, how could that thing not feel that? I mean, they're blind.
Yeah.
I get it, but how could that not feel that that's different from the Rock?
Yeah, they would have felt warmth or something.
Yeah, right.
I also noticed something weird about those creatures. If they're obviously primal instinct monsters that hunt by sound, you think their hearing would be a little bit better because of their other senses. Like I was wondering, like when they were crawling right next to her, how they couldn't hear the heartbeat or stuff like that. Like if these beings have obviously evolved for hundreds.
Maybe
of
they
years
didn't want to make
into
it
what
that
they are.
easy for those things,
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple little things like that. Like in both movies, like there's like the watch and the walkie-talkie. There's stuff going off, and their reactions don't feel right to me. Like I feel like they'd be like cavemen and like trying to like bash the thing, making noises, but they kind of just like go up to it and like sniff it, and then like, all right, it's fine, cool, leave it.
This is
part of my world now.
This does not smell like fear.
I will say my favorite part in the sequel, like I didn't like the sequel as much as the first, mostly just because it ruins the ending for the first one for me.
Yeah,
it's
Right
like if
away,
you
too.
it's like if you were to make a sequel to High Tension, it would just ruin it for me. But the part when the girl is like stuck inside the cave in and she's just sitting there waiting, and then she gets like the goop on her hand and it's just goleming underneath the rocks. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
That was creepy. It's like you got to move or you're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, when she started moving, like I was.
Oh, now you can get out of there.
I was talking at the TV. I was like, "You're gonna move now, aren't you?"
And it's in the sequel. They got that. Is it that scene where the creature's head gets crushed by the rock?
Yeah, yeah. It
that was
really cool.
That was a cool effect.
No, we have to talk about the toilet.
That was interesting. The shit pit, as a director called it.
Yeah, I like how it just crawls up, takes a squat. She's like, I miss the water now.
Speaking of toilets, I'll be right back.
He's been quiet.
Since we're kind of like bouncing back and forth between the two at the moment, it's kind of a little bit of a hot take on the sequel. I was talking with my girlfriend when we were watching it last night, and she brought up an interesting point. The beginning begins with in the hospital when she's got amnesia and stuff. So if we took everything out, that like if you hadn't even seen the first Descent or had it never been made, which I hope glad that never happened, but had the original movie never been made, this could be a standalone movie by itself. Like because you have amnesia along with her at the beginning, and then all the little bits of the original storyline that she's remembering. You're going along with that ride with Sarah, the second one.
I feel like you could minus like Juno and
Juno's
Paul.
Beef. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
one,
literally
that part
the
would
only
be a little
thing.
muddled.
But other than that, yeah, it would work. There's a lot of like trope stuff in the sequel more than the first one. Like, one, we're gonna get on this ancient ass fucking elevator without testing it whatsoever. I'm good. No, that's stupid. And then like, what was the other one? One, like the cops just like, I'm gonna take this amnesia girl into a fucking cave system.
Right.
When she's like unstable as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
The other
sensitive. He doesn't believe her.
He's a giant dick.
Yeah, that actor, it was wild seeing him pop up because he just passed away in September. I remember seeing posts about it. It's like, it's the guy that just, I don't know, his name's Gavin, I think, or something.
Yeah, I remember him from Willow for sure.
Yeah, I knew Willow, I think, was the one I knew him from. But was something else in that sequel.
All right, sorry.
You're good.
Oh,
I just peed. I didn't poop.
I was gonna say, that'd be a quick Tuesday if that was the case.
You must have been prairie dogging it.
No. And I checked on the kids too because they were eating dinner, so make sure they ate their dinner.
We're talking about the tropes of the sequel. Or at least I was. Nathan's trying to think about something.
well, the one I'm not a fan of how the second one ends with that twist.
Yeah. Kayla mentioned that too. She was like, it got to the old guy and he sits the body there and then it just ends. She was like, I wish they kind of would have like delved into that a little bit more. Like, I'm very confused.
Yeah, it just Oh, I know one. I was thinking the rat coming out of the girl's mouth was.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was a good. That was
That was
a good.
good. Yeah.
That looked really
that.
good.
Well, they made it look like she was still kind of alive a
Alive.
little bit.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
that's
all
the
of a sudden,
thing. Like, is that's a prosthetic, right? Like, it absolutely
Yeah.
has to be a prosthetic. But like
Well,
the way
it's
it
on
moves,
editing. Yeah.
the way it moves though, like the flesh, like it is super good. It doesn't
I
look
just-
like like rubbery.
There was just one line in
No,
that
it
scene
didn't.
that was like bugged me. The guy, like, they're looking at her body and they said, "There's nothing down here that could do that to a human." I'm like, then what the fuck did it then? There obviously is, because it's been done to her.
I will say that the characters in this movie don't really have any character to them, except for
Yeah,
like the main female police officer. That's like almost it. Nobody else has any characteristics.
Which is what shows. Well, I talked about the first movie is you remember all those girls. Like,
Oh yeah,
they're all really well defined. I really like Holly, the one who's kind of the wild rambunctious
the
one.
extremist.
Yeah, and like I love to see where Juno comes in and stretching her leg, and she tries to do it.
She falls over. Yeah.
Falls over. So yeah, you get this fun group of characters that you really like. I think I like them at least, and so it sucks when they die.
3 of them are definitely well defined because the other 3 get kind of lost in the shuffle for me. But
I would say my only issue is some of them look too similar.
Yeah,
to me.
that's what I was going to say.
When we were
I
watching
agree
the
with that.
movie where it's dark and then like 3 of them are blonde, I was like, is that Sarah or is that the other
I
one?
can see that.
Well, there was a part that it sounded like they called one of the other girls Sarah. I was like, who the fuck's Sarah then?
One of them, the doctor girl's named Sam, so it's a little close.
That might have been what it
changes
was.
her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla
but
was
she's
kind of,
such a short.
Yeah. I said Kayla was kind of making fun of them when they were in like the cabin, like the whole PJ thing and what they were talking about. She was like, "This is what happens when sorority girls get together when they age." And I was like, "Jesus Christ,
They're not that old. They're only
Pretty
like
much.
25.
That's a
I
good
know, but just like
comparison, though.
the way they're talking and like the jokes they're making, like some of them are kind of cringy.
Has any of the actresses been in anything else from the first movie?
I feel like Sarah has. Like she looks
She
familiar
has.
to me.
I know she's been in something. I looked her up, but I didn't look the
definitely
other
didn't
one up.
recognize any of them from anything.
I don't
Sean
think they've
McDonald is her name.
been in anything of significance. Maybe
or they might
maybe
be in
in their-
stuff not in America.
maybe in their countries, because most of them all come from Europe. Like some of them are from
Yeah.
like Sweden and
Oh,
Scotland
hey.
and Ireland.
Sarah was in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, she's a pilot. I read that.
Temporary command center resistance pilot. Congratulations, you made it. I don't know. You know, she held her own as an actress. I thought I was like, oh man, why haven't we seen more of her?
She was really good.
Yeah,
She
was really
almost
good.
has like, especially in the sequel, she almost has like a badass like Laura Croftness to her.
You know, that's funny you say that. I was watching that, and you know, the first Tomb Raider games, she was in the shorts and all that shit. She never had that rock climbing pick that they had. You know,
She does now, right?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, the next game comes out in like 2008 or 2009, and she's got one of those, and she's like decked out more like those girls are. Like, did the creators of the new Tomb Raider series watch The Descent? It feels like it, seriously, because I was taken right back to the
That's a good
09
point.
Tomb Raider.
See,
game.
I thought Laura Croft had one in like 3. I know there was one I played.
I
on the
don't
Sega
remember,
Genesis.
man.
She was like in an ice cave, and there was like
Those
wolves.
games are so far out of my head now at this point. You know?
All I can think about is polygons.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, all right. One of the women, Mayanna Buring, she was in. You guys know this one, Lesbian Vampire Killers. So, you know. that's
Oh, we all know that one.
Yeah, she's also in the Twilight movies, apparently. So something to do with vampires. Sam's in it.
No, I know. Like again, like the sequel feels more like horror tropey to me. Like especially like the old guy at the beginning. As soon as he started talking about like the cave system, I was like looking at Kayla. I was like, "Here's the old man that tells you you're doomed."
Lasts longer than your MP3.
Yeah, that was super cheesy.
Like, what?
Yeah, I was telling Nathan why you weren't taking a crap.
I was not pooping. I would be proud of it.
One of the tropes is like 6 people are going to get on this ancient elevator, not test it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. No, not
Well,
happening.
if I were, why wouldn't Sarah refuse to go? That's my question. The whole
Because there's a
time.
dickhead cop would probably blow her head off if she said no.
What is he talking about? The Descent?
No, he's talking about takes Manhattan.
I know, but is he comparing that to the Descent? Is what I'm trying
Well,
to
he's
figure
saying the
out.
Descent. The reason I enjoy the first half of Friday.
It's on the
I
boat.
guess talking about how they can't escape.
Yeah,
That's what he
there's
liked
somewhere where
about
they can't possibly escape.
Jason Manhattan.
Interesting take, Sean.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Well, like the
wow.
most effective. Well, like that's like Manhattan has one of the scariest kills in it, and it is that where the girl's stuck in the boat in the very beginning. And he's just slowly, with the tarpoon down. Like
Yeah, at the very beginning, yeah.
That's a
She's
very
got
terrifying.
cubby
He
holes,
can't
yeah.
go anywhere. Like, where do you go? Like, that's a terrifying thing to see death coming. I was like, and there's nowhere you can go. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. And he just slowly does it.
Yeah. And that's the thing with this movie is the girls get stuck. They have nowhere to go until one of them is it Juno that finds the arrows on the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and they're in the dark. They can't see anything.
Yep.
They can't make a
running
sound.
out of time.
I will say one thing that kind of confused me in the second one is it feels like there was way more routes than there were in the first movie because they start backwards in the second one. They start in like the bone room or whatever you want to call it. And then they go backwards because we get to the hanging body of the one chick. And then they go across. They're going the way that was blocked off. But now there just happens to be like more routes and stuff.
That was the part that kind of confused me at the beginning because they used the mind gate to get down. And like, how do they know that this entrance to the mind actually connected to where they went? How would they know that?
Probably called a bigger budget.
Because I mean, obviously they jumped into a cave that had not been charted because obviously nobody made it out alive. So how the fuck did they know where the ending of it was?
I know the production designer said they built like twice as many cave rooms as the first movie had. There were like 30 rooms because all the cave stuff was built Pinewood Studios. But yeah, they built all the interiors, but it was like. The first movie had like 14. This one had 30.
Damn. And they also made sure it was very well lit.
Very, very well lit. Like, hey, we sculpted this shit. We're gonna show it.
Yeah, that's one of the best.
Even if it makes no sense.
So they filmed. Did they film any of this on location, or was it all set pieces?
It's all in. All the cave stuff is indoors. There's just no. It'd just be a pain in the ass shooting an actual cave and. Yeah.
They did a great job. That first piece when I don't know what they call that, where they drop down, that is gorgeous. You know what I'm talking about? That and
when they're descending.
What I have about that is that one of the girls finds like a handprint in blood.
Yeah.
So am I to believe those fucking blind monsters come out and that far? And
well, they come out and hunt.
Yeah,
but
I
come
thought
out
they
on the
come out
surface.
of the bone room.
Well, I think that bloody handprint was somebody, trying to climb back up in their
it was
running
Chester
from the
Copperpot.
monsters. It's just supposed to. It's supposed to just be like a sign of like what's to come.
Yeah,
forgetting
it's
like the actual
bullshit,
word.
Like the blood looked pretty fresh, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked super red.
Yeah.
And also, like it looked like their hand, like it looked like it was foam, like their hand pushed into it and left an indentation.
Yeah.
No, I like. I think it was the second one. I like the part when Sarah thinks she sees that first monster, and then it turns out to just be like a calcium deposit. Like the way it's formed, where it looks like a body. Yeah, that was really good.
The second one.
Jesus, that's stupid. Sorry, my boss just texted me. What's Sean got to say? I'm not okay. I was confused by the comment. Yeah, you have no idea. Yeah, that's the best part about this movie. It's just a lot like Alien, like Nate was saying. You have really nowhere to go, and it's dark. There's something hunting you, and you can't make too much noise.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Alien. I watched the commentary, and Neil was pointing out all of his Alien nods. Like Alien was a huge influence on it. I noticed a lot of Shining stuff in there. Even some of the music cues or stuff that Kubrick had used. He was saying in the crew and director commentary that the font that he chose was a John Carpenter font. Seth. So just a little bit of info for you. I can't remember what movie he said it was from. Like Big Trouble in Little China or something. Is it Prince of Darkness font?
It looked like that's what it reminded me of when I saw it.
Yeah. So he said, he got that from Carpenter.
That might have got buried in the 500 messages I missed.
There are a few other movies I'm trying to remember that influenced the film. I know Shining, Alien.
A Quiet Place is another good. A Quiet Place is another good comparison to that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that was a great. And like you were saying, that came to my mind when you were talking about how these things would have super keen hearing. They would have heard. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't know where they were. They wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah, especially in a cave, it's echoey as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, unless that's the thing that you could kind of think about is if it's a cave and it's super echoey, you can't exactly target where the sound is coming from. Yeah.
But then again, if they've evolved into what they are,
they would have adapted to the echo.
Yeah.
I'll say that was another thing that kind of bugged me. I think they do it like once in the first movie, but you'd figure more people would be like throwing rocks and shit. You know,
like a distraction,
Yeah, doing like a Last of Us thing. You throw rocks and distract people. And
I think honestly, in the first movie, when everything goes crazy, it's kind of like Train to Busan. Like I don't have time to fucking think. Like
true.
In this dark, compacted place, and there's something here, and I can't see it, and it's trying to kill me.
Yeah. Well,
where
true.
do I go? What do I do?
And this goes back to the thing when people bitch about what people do in horror movies in situations, but it's like you're not in that situation, and your mind's racing, and your thought process is fucked.
Exactly. Like I remember when Alien Covenant came out, one of the criticisms I saw was when the girl shoots the explosives on the wall when it's inside the ship. Mm-hmm. I guess it's been a while since I saw it, but the alien's right there coming at the pilot, and she shoots the machine gun, and it hits the tanks and blows the thing up. And they're like, "Why the fuck did she shoot?" I'm like, why would she? There's a fucking alien rushing at her. She has nowhere to go. Like she's either gonna kill it or she's gonna blow herself up. We're just like, oh, yeah. I shouldn't pull the trigger. I should just maybe cock it with the butt. You know.
Don't worry. Yeah. Those situations are
done. Alien I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, okay.
That's why I cover my ears. I don't want to hear it.
It's just the part in the beginning. It's not.
I don't
giving you anything away.
He's like, have you seen Prometheus?
I did see Prometheus. Yeah.
Okay, because I would say there's a thing in that movie that bugs the fuck out of me. It happens in movies when there's something like rolling or coming at people, and they just run straight. Like.
Instead of like
zigzag.
No, because in Prometheus the ship is like rolling on top of the girl, and she just runs straight with it. I'm like, run to the side.
Yeah. Shuck and jive.
Like Indiana Jones didn't have a choice, okay?
It
was narrow. That's a good point. You're right about that. I never thought about that. They're always running straight, like the length of the fucking thing, you know. Yeah. No, just take a right. You'll be fine. 2 steps over, you'll be okay.
I mean, it is a massive ship, but your odds of getting out would be way better if you went left or right.
Yeah. Where's he going?
I don't know. He said it, but I didn't hear him.
I think he said pizzas here. I'm like, oh, sure. What's up, Scott? Anyway, there was something I wanted to bring up when I was watching it last night, but I totally forgot what it was when we started talking about falling ships, and I covered my ears like I was a child. Earmuffs.
I thought you were having like a meltdown because of a text, or you had a massive headache.
No, I
just saw you going like this.
Because I absolutely despise spoilers. No offense to Nate for doing that. Good. I'm sure you didn't know.
It's a minor character. It's not.
It's been out for 5 years or whatever.
It's been out a while. Yeah.
I just don't want to. I don't want to go into it. No, I didn't.
I was making my Star Wars movie when that came out.
I had Force Awakens ruined for me while I was waiting in line in the theater. So some asshole walks out. Han Solo gets stabbed by his son. It's like,
Like a fucking Family Guy. Wasn't it?
Yeah, so you had the Family Guy
was
thing
like,
happen.
I can't believe Han Solo got
You
killed.
should have saw the swarm of theater employees came over and grabbed the guy and took they yanked him out, like they grabbed him under the arm, like, come here, youngin, you're getting out of here, you know.
The
That was
bouncers
awful.
took him away.
My wife looked at me, she's like, "Are you
You're
okay?"
gonna get
I'm like,
murdered.
Because we had to see a later show of that rather than seeing the first one. We had to see the
Yeah.
second one because those tickets were damn near impossible to get opening day tickets like right away. But anyway,
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's why I'm going to go see No Way Home on Thursday, like the day it comes out, because nothing is spoiling this fucking movie for me. I got the biggest spoiler I ever got was in high school in the lunch line. Someone spoiled the newest episode of Breaking Bad for me, and it was a super major episode, and I was so mad. It was the one where Hank gets killed.
Oh shit! Oh,
yeah, they literally were just told me
what
Hank
gets
dies,
killed?
and like, yeah, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. So the whole episode, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, Hank's gonna fucking.
I remember
bullshit.
I remember in the late '90s, like going to work because I worked third shift, so I'd have to go to work before the Bulls game was over. You know, because I was a big Bulls fan, and I'm like trying. I got to clock in, but I got to stay away away from everybody. Don't nobody say anything about the Bulls game. You know, like, don't say nothing. You know? Yeah, and like I remember like the big spoiler. Like now we just expect it. Now like I have to go see a movie right away because I know someone's gonna fucking spoil it on Facebook. Because and it's always like the first thing you click on, and I remember it was Walking Dead, like season 1 or 2, and I just went on Facebook and it just said Dale, or something like that. I'm like, why would you do that? It's like, what? I didn't say what happened. Like, why would you write no Dale in all caps? Like, like obviously something happened to Dale.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I like giving fake spoilers to annoy people. I went and saw Avengers in high school midnight release when they still did actual midnight releases. And the next day at school, I told everybody Iron Man died. So when they got to the scene when he goes through the wormhole.
So you predicted something 7 years prior.
Yeah,
right.
Wrong Avengers movie. So he was right. Did he just freeze? Or am I frozen?
Nope, you're good. Me and Nathan disappeared for some reason.
Oh, my screen.
I was gonna say, Keith, you're kind of glitching a little bit.
So I did miss. I don't know how much of the Descent 2 I missed. A part 2, as it's called. It's not just the 2. It's part 2. I don't remember the ending of that one. Does it end open-ended or is it close this door?
The ending's kind of stupid.
So
Juno and Sarah and the police officer are going to escape through where they
wait.
The female.
I must have missed a lot. Juno survived?
Yeah.
Juno survived,
The cop finds Juno. Juno's like fucking crazy because she's just sitting down there like in the dark like Gollum, and like she just like doesn't talk. Takes the cop's flashlight from him, makes him fall in. She knows a way out. And she knows a way out,
but didn't use it.
Well, here's they bring that up. They're complaining. They're like, "Why didn't you get out?" And she's like, "I didn't have the equipment." And now they're there and they have equipment.
It's where they feed, right? So there's like
it's where
they're all at eating. So it's like very dangerous to go through.
The cop handcuffs Sarah to him, so she can't go anywhere because he's fucking a dick.
Apparently, that's a thing. Yeah,
and there's that she's the one that killed all the girls. Yeah,
and there's like rocks they're walking across to get to a path. And so they need to go one by one because it's unstable. But the dickhead cop has Sarah handcuffed to him, and they go across it, and it falls. And Sarah's holding him by a handcuff while he's dangling his fat ass on it, and like cutting her wrist off. And so the cop takes the pickaxe and chops the sheriff's arm off. And then they go to escape through the feeding room.
So just the wrist gets cut off. The hand's okay, right?
Yeah. They Juno takes the hand out of the handcuff and throws it down the pit or whatever. Yeah, it's just dangling off the handcuff.
I like hearing your description.
Well, and then they go into the feeding room and there's a fuck ton of them. And they're trying to sneak past them to get through the exit. And then one of them makes a noise and there's a big scuffle and they're all fighting. And then Juno gets bit in the neck and she's dying, and before she dies she literally bites the jugular off of one of them, her last fight
I bet that tastes good.
So then Sarah's like holding Juno because they're dying and they're like apologizing to each other and stuff. And the cop is just like having a mental breakdown, just like trying to be quiet. And Juno dies, and the cop's like, "We need to go. Like, I want to live and get back to my kid." But they're all like surrounding them. So Sarah just like screams and like just keeps screaming until she like can't scream anymore.
I smelled it out front.
Yeah, they all run
Did
and
you see it?
jump on Sarah,
No,
and then the
You
officer
heard it?
runs out and escapes.
I dropped French fries.
She tries to call people, but her phone doesn't work. And then randomly, the old man shows up, hits her in the head with a shovel, drags her back to the hole, and a monster grabs her. And that's the end of the movie. Right? Yeah, Kayla was like,
Sarah
I would have liked some
sacrificed
like,
herself.
yeah, it's a pointless
So-
bullshit.
Okay, so the first movie, they pretty much think that they go out hunt and bring them back, which I like that idea, and they ruin it by saying this old man feeds them now.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't give any like reasoning or anything. Like that would have helped even more if there was some kind of reasoning. For
Why?
it,
Yeah, why the
but-
fuck is it'll last longer than your MP3?
That's my
fucking-
grandpa down there.
That I'm sorry, but
Yeah,
an
yeah.
ending like that can ruin a whole movie. I see why people were downvoting it on our rating.
It like switched into a wrong turn movie at the end.
yeah.
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 He reminded me of like a blue collar Clue Gulager.
But not as charming.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh man,
That
I don't
movie
know.
did get. That movie did get me. It has one of the best jump scares because it fooled me, where they're looking for the creature with the camcorder and the screen and the night vision,
Yeah.
and they're like the screen it's looking over to the right of the screen, and you're looking through their smoke and mirrors make misdirection, making you look through the screen. And all of a sudden, the fucking thing pops up right next to her, next to the camera.
Yeah.
Shit!
I will say I don't know if any of
That
you
made me
had
jump.
this
That got
thought.
me.
The night vision camcorder, is that like a digital camera or is that one of those small tape camcorders?
Yeah, it looked like one of those.
That looked like those
small
old little
ones.
tape.
Little
Maybe
DV.
No one, yeah.
Okay, because in the sequel they find the camera and they're scrubbing through all the footage. For some reason, my mind went to, because he eventually starts using it. My mind immediately went to, you're erasing all the evidence. You're gonna record over it. You know, the ending's bullshit, right? So
Yeah, I mean,
ending sucks.
I have seen that, but like when I was watching, I was like, I don't remember this at all because I have watched the first one multiple times before. Like after I saw it the first time, I watched it again. My wife really loved it, the first movie, so we watched it a few times. But the second one I didn't watch as much, so I think I only saw it the one time. And a lot of times, if I haven't seen a movie more than 5 years, I forget all about it. It's like at work when I'm gone for a few days, I forget certain people exist. So. And I'm not even joking. I do. I was like, "Oh yeah, Jim. I've worked with him for 12 years. I forgot you were a person."
Oh, you still work
He's
here?
the only one too. Anyway, but like, yeah. So I was watching. I was into it, but I had to be somewhere at 5:30. I was like, I think I have enough time, but I didn't. So missed. Well, it doesn't matter. I missed a shit ending. It sounds like. No offense.
Hopefully, I explained the ending good enough. I think I explained too much.
Well, you explained the big part that you explained. You know, the old man's feeding the animal things. It's like, what does he get out of this?
Yeah, it does.
Man,
my
it
only
just sucks because we
question.
just saw. It just sucks that we just like. It's like if we were watching Dream Warriors and Nancy sacrifices herself,
Yeah.
and then like Patricia gets out, and then Kristen wakes up in the quiet room, and like the doctor fucking kills her or punches her in the face, stabs her with a, and she dies. Like, well, Nancy died for nothing, man. That's basically what it is. Like we just saw Sarah sacrifice herself because she's like, hey, I lost my husband, lost my baby, but this woman here is young. She's got a young girl waiting at home, her daughter. She wants to get home to her daughter. We're not going to make it out of here together, so I'll stay here with Juno and I'll sacrifice myself. And you're like, oh, that was a really strong ending, and she runs out, and you're like, great, and then the guy fucking shovels her in the face and drags her back to him, and like, I don't know. It's a cheap.
it was a
That feels
twist.
talking about tropes. That feels like a trope for the mid 2000s anyway.
yeah, it was a very
Yeah,
later,
it seemed
but-
like
We gotta have
a
a
bad
down ending.
execution. It was a bad execution, like a twist ending kind of thing.
well,
like
like
unexpected.
I remember like feeling that way when I saw House of 1,000 Corpses in the theater, where like when Sid Haig picks her up.
Exactly. That's that same ending, basically.
And he turns around and you see Otis in the back. And
Otis
I'm like,
back there, yeah.
And then it says, "The end?" ? Pops up. I'm like, oh, Rob. That's stupid.
By the way, hey everybody say hi to Seth. Seth, he's here. Hi, Seth.
Hey, Seth.
Come on, guy. Come on.
Did you catch the
Welcome for joining.
Seth couldn't be with us tonight. He is. I can't think of anything funny. Anyway, I'm no good on my feet, so I can't.
He's unsticking the pages of his John Carpenter biography.
Oh Jesus!
Nice.
Actually, he probably
Nice.
heard us mention John Carpenter earlier. He's like, what? Let me get on that shit real fast.
So you think we've waxed on The Descent enough? Do you think?
Yeah, probably.
I think so.
I mean,
I was just figuring we could spend the last few minutes talking about the new Ghostbusters movie. Oh, fuck you, Keith Saunders.
Hey,
yeah,
Seth, you're allowed to say
Ghostbusters.
fuck.
I hope to go see the new Ghostbusters this weekend. I'm behind on movies. I'm debating on taking
Wait. You're behind on Ghostbuster movies?
No. Just new releases.
There are 2 of them.
New releases.
Well, the Ghostbusters is a special circumstance. I'm stoked.
I was going to say that can leapfrog some of these other ones.
Like 3.
Did you get it?
Oh no!
You like the 2016 movie?
Oof.
I don't like the last one they made. I mean, some of it was good, but a lot of the humor, like it wasn't like the kind of humor for me.
It was a lot of it was over the top, in my opinion.
It was sticky.
I gave it a fair shot. Did you know that's got a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than Afterlife?
Really?
Yeah. I'm a fan of all those actresses, so I was like, I think Kate McKinnon is a fucking genius. I love Melissa McCarthy. So I enjoyed it. I knew I wasn't expecting I wasn't expecting the old Ghostbusters movie. I just expected a new one, and my daughter liked it. My wife liked it. I felt it sucked that there was a campaign to destroy that movie. It really was. Like, people decided they hated it. I was joking, like the screenwriter, and I'm not saying it's a great movie at all. I'm not saying it, but you're talking about a remake of one of the greatest fucking movies ever made, like Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to remake Citizen Kane of comedy, and like it wasn't. They had this chip stacked against them already, but I didn't think it was a terrible movie. But I just joke about it because I remember the screenwriter. She talked about. I was reading online that the movie was shit before I even wrote the script. People decided that they hated it. Yeah. It was going to be shit.
Yeah, but
no matter what
wasn't the director being kind of an asshole about it?
Well, I
feel like I remember.
I think
he's a funny guy himself.
Paul Feig created Freaks and Geeks, for fuck's sake. Paul Feig is not chopped liver. I think what it was. I think what people were bothered by is that Melissa McCarthy and a lot of them were like, "Well, fuck you too," because they got so much shit from the so much. I mean, misogynistic shit. Really, people like these bitches ain't funny and all. It was all this really ugly shit. Oh, what are they gonna do? Talk about menstruation and their periods, and it was like all this bullshit.
Well, that's stupid. That's stupid. Yeah. My problem was, I really think it would have worked really well if it was a continuation. All they had to do was say, this stuff happened, 25 years ago, and then bam, it would have been fine. But it just wasn't very. I thought the dance scene shit was stupid. Leslie, whatever her name was way over the top. I mean, I think she always is, really.
Yeah, it's not a great movie, but I didn't think it was nearly as bad as everyone.
I gave it a fair shot. I didn't bash it beforehand like a lot of people I saw.
This is how fans are. Like, even with this new one, as soon as they saw there were kids in the movie, I heard so many people bitching. Oh, it's going to be terrible. But the kids, I like the casting choices they made, and this movie looks so much fun to me. I can't wait to see it. I'm going to take the kids. I don't care if the theater's crowded or not. We're going to get COVID watching it. I don't care. I've never seen a Ghostbusters. Well, no, I take it back. I saw Ghostbusters 2 in the drive-in, but with Batman, I believe. But I've never seen a Ghostbusters in the theater like the weekend it opens, and I love, just like you guys, I fucking adore the Ghostbusters movies. What? I'm a huge fan of the second movie.
almost
yeah.
almost as much as the first.
It was
one.
on
A lot of
TV
people don't
today,
like
and
the second
I
movie.
just started watching it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it.
It's always shocked me when I found out, like 20 years later, that Ghostbusters 2 is considered bad. I'm like, what? It's hilarious.
It's fantastic. He's
Like,
Vigo.
Oh man, what's his name?
The art curator.
Janos?
Nickel. Peter
Yeah,
McNichol
Peter
Janos. Fuck, he's so good.
The Upper West Side.
The
but I
Upper
will-
West Side. What? Everything you are doing is bad. I want you to know.
Every scene with him and Bill Murray is fucking gold. It's so
Yeah.
so good, man.
The weirdest part.
You're
of
not
that
gonna
movie
get a
for
green
me-
card.
The weirdest part in that movie for me is whenever the art curator becomes like a nanny flying through the sky with a
I
fucking
love that
controller.
scene.
I'm like, the
Yeah.
fuck's happening?
I
just
know,
love-
it's just, same people are behind this. Why is it so bad all of a sudden? They
I
throw
love
out the
it.
Statue of Liberty.
My favorite thing is that like they don't have any business and they're doing fucking birthday parties.
I love
Like Rick
He-Man. He-Man was already out of style by then, by the way.
I thought it was
Go
gonna
ahead,
be
Nate.
He-Man.
Yeah.
I love the Rick Moranis just defending them in court. One time I
Yeah.
turned into a dog and they saved me. Thank you.
Yeah, the what are they? The Leslie brothers or something? The ghosts.
The Scolari
The
brothers.
Scolari brothers.
Yeah.
And you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Oh no, like when they're oh man, there's so
sorry,
many
Bill
great
Murray.
moments
Go
in
ahead,
part
go ahead. I
two.
just
Yeah,
love
Bill
Bill
Murray,
Murray.
everything he does, like even like the part where the cops pull up when they're digging.
He calls the lawyer
What are
kitten.
you doing?
Don't just stop digging.
Want to come down to
He
your
calls-
work and tell you what to do?
He calls me on Ziggy. Yo.
He got yo. I watch Bill Murray do anything. The part I love when Bill's like when he goes, I got to put him down. He goes, can I? You're short. Your belly butt sticks out too far. You're burden on your poor mother or whatever.
Yeah,
I watch Bill Murray play Peter Venkman any goddamn day.
we get a dancing toaster.
Yeah. It's better than the dance scene in the 2016 movie.
No, I want to see the new one. I'm excited for it, especially since it's a continuation and we're getting.
Oh,
This
this man has no
This
dick.
man has no dick.
Or you can believe Mr. Pecker.
I think my second favorite one from the first one is where Dan Aykroyd, they're going up to get Gozer, and he's like, "Where do these stairs go?"
Oh,
They go up.
okay. Quick question. Who is your favorite Ghostbuster? I wanna know.
It's
You go
Venkman. Venkman all day long. Yeah.
I like fuck me. Why can't I remember names?
Egon,
Egon.
Peter, Egon,
Ray.
and Winston. Come on.
Egon.
Yeah, that's my
I
favorite.
do like Egon a lot.
I love Egon.
His dry humor cracks me
Yeah,
up.
I like the dry
I-
humor.
I
I like
the
the part
scene-
when he's underneath the secretary's desk in the first one. He's
Princess
just
Cat.
completely blind. He's
Yes.
impervious.
I
He's like,
collect
she's
spores,
like, what are
mold,
you
and
into? And he's like, I collect spores.
Spores.
funguses."
fungus. For the first trailer you see his collection.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
look like you're
great.
very good with your hands.
This reminds me of the time you tried to drill a hole through your head. That would have worked if you hadn't stopped.
It would have worked if you would have stopped me. And he gives her a candy bar. You deserve it. I'm watching Ghostbusters tonight.
No,
I wanted to do a whole show on Ghostbusters, but I didn't know if it was horror enough.
It's I think it
I'm putting a
Ghosts.
Ghostbusters name tag on my horror jacket.
Why don't we table the Ghostbusters discussion for do a whole show if you want? I would love to with Seth involved because this man has no dick. Sorry, Seth.
Yeah, let's all watch the new one and then we'll do like a big show.
Yeah, how about the week after Thanksgiving?
That works.
And
Yeah,
then,
my
So
plan
are we
is
all gonna try to rush watch it and do a show about this next week?
no, we don't need to rush. Well, Nate, I'm sure Nate wants to be involved in some Ghostbusters conversation.
Yeah.
And he's going to be.
I was gonna try to watch it
with
Sunday
family.
and Monday.
I'm going to go probably Saturday, but Nate's going to be with family next week, and it's Thanksgiving, and let's just take the week off,
Yep,
and we'll
that
come
works.
back on the 30th and talk Ghostbusters, and then we're going to do an end of the year show where we talk about our favorites from the year. Since we got a full year of movies this year, where last year 3 movies came out, so we can do a whole end of the year show. So get 5 movies ready for your end of the year show, and don't take mine.
No, I hope to see it this weekend. My plan is to take Kayla to work one day this weekend and possibly go see 4 movies because I'm behind on 4 movies. Technically
Which ones?
5.
Which
Technically 5. I still haven't seen the new 007. I haven't seen Eternals, Antlers, Last Night in Soho, and then Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Antlers and Last Night in Soho are 2 that I want to see, but I'm probably just going to miss those. And the 007 movie comes out on Blu-ray on the 21st, or 4K for you.
Well, see, Night of Soho has no showings around here, and Antlers has
it's already on Vudu if you want to rent it. But
Is it really?
I'm not going to rent it.
It's $20 to rent right now, which is basically 2 tickets at the theater.
I'm just going to buy the movie.
Yeah.
Things at that price,
Things seem to be getting to like I remember when DVDs were out, it was like every 4 months after the movie hit the theaters, it came out. Now it's like coming up to like 2 months almost. It seems
that's also probably mostly because of COVID. Like they've had the discs printed.
Well, they can't change it now. We're expecting it. Like
I don't. At the same time,
last week. Where's the Blu-ray?
I think at the same time they've been teasing doing that for years. I remember reading like 4 or 5 years ago they were thinking of like actually selling DVDs or Blu-rays in the lobby of the theater. Like when you came out, if you liked it, you could buy a copy of it.
That would be great.
Dude,
I would
immediately.
Yeah,
that would be so cool.
The only bad part of it, there'd definitely be like absorbent prices.
Yeah, well, it'd be worth it because you want it was really cool to go see Halloween Kills and then be able to come home and watch it on streaming,
awesome.
you know, and not have to pay again, but but still to come home and watch it again and like because that's how it is when you see a movie in the theaters that you really like. You're like, God, I can't wait to see that again. Yep. Well, if you could just go right in the lobby and buy it, and take it home and watch it,
I'll tell you what,
it'd be great.
If Halloween Kills wasn't on Peacock, our show would have been way more cutthroat.
We would. I'm like, the movie sucks ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, but the thing is, like for me, like I would love to be able to buy like a Star Wars movie right after I saw it in the theater, except for The Last Jedi.
Oh, Star Wars, they would sell so many.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, I would still go back to the theater because I love the experience of seeing things in the theater. But I think that would deter people from going back a second time because I think a lot of the money that you make, I think a lot of it is repeat business. You know, like you're going to make that huge initial run in the first week or so, and then a lot of it's repeat business. I mean, how many times did you go see Star Wars, The Force Awakens when it came out? You know, I saw it 6 times in the theater.
Jesus.
Yeah, I loved it. I couldn't get enough. I was like, I want more.
I've seen
What's The Last Jedi already?
I've seen Doubles of Sun. I saw Halloween 2018 like 3 times. I saw.
Did he freeze or just?
He froze
a
little bit.
Yeah, I think I've never double dipped on horror movies as far as I know.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Dark Knight like 3 or 4 times, and then Avatar 3 or 4 times. I love Avatar, even though everybody hates Avatar. I love that movie.
I think I saw Grindhouse 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Because I knew that wasn't gonna like be on home video that way, so that was the only way to.
Oh yeah,
see it all together.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that'd have been cool to see.
I did see that one in the theaters. That was cool watching Grindhouse.
I've seen movies like Elm Street and Halloween in the theater multiple times, but not like during their initial release.
Yeah.
You know, I have a rule when Star Wars comes out, I have to see it at least 3 times. So, I have with every one of them except for Solo. I only got to see 1.
I guess I've been doing that more with the Disney Plus shows because I think I've watched the entirety of The Mandalorian like 3 times. I think.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready to watch it again. It's getting cold outside. It's like it's time for Mandalorian, isn't it? As I put my jacket on, but we're not getting it. We're getting the Boba Fett show, but that's fine.
Oh yeah. So I'm ready for that. I'm not ready for all the toys that come with it, but I'm ready for the show.
My wallet is not ready for that. I still got to get some other things. And Nate's having problems with BBTS, which scares me because I need to order a couple of things from there.
I just got a notification today that the Frankenstein monster is shipped, so must have heard
I
me.
think it's
3 months later.
All right, so if we do watch it this weekend, we can obviously talk about it, together. But if I can make it through that fucking movie without tearing up, I will call it a victory.
Somebody said, I saw one critic say Paul Rudd was made for this. And
he's great.
If out of any of the actors today, I think he'd be a perfect addition to the Ghostbusters. Period. Just I hope I heard early on that he might be a villain. I really hope that's not the truth because he looks like a Ghostbuster to me. You know,
I cut out. Who are we talking about?
Paul Rudd.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
What's with your internet today?
Yeah, the internet is quitting for
So
some
Seth's
reason.
not here, so we got to go to the next guy on the East Coast. All right, so let's wrap this show up. Love talking to you guys. I can talk to you guys about anything, and we do all the time on the chat. So next week we're gonna take the week off. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who celebrates. I do. It's my favorite fucking holiday. Dude, I was talking to my daughter. Asked me today, what's your perfect meal? I'm like, turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, corn, stuffing, and a roll.
No green bean casserole.
No green bean casserole. I like it, but not in that mix. I gotta have the stuffing, the potatoes. Put the corn on top of the potatoes.
My Thanksgiving's a little different now with these fucking allergies. Like, I remember I first got diagnosed with them like the week before Thanksgiving. So when
lactose situation,
it's not lactose. It's casein in milk. It's a protein, and it's like But when I got first diagnosed, they just said it was a food allergy. They didn't know what it was. So I was on that elimination diet. So they were like every fail. Every allergen I couldn't have, like you can't eat. So I was like, so if it was peanuts or tree nuts or soy or milk or eggs, everything.
So we can't make everything regular.
Well, yeah, I get to Thanksgiving dinner and there's a huge spread, and like the only thing I can have is the ham and the fruits, because they had turkey and they deep fried turkey. It's like, oh, at least I get some turkey. He goes, oh, we deep fried it in peanut oil.
Oh, come on,
peanut.
Oh, that's fuckers. I am so sorry for you.
It was a shitty fucking Thanksgiving because that's all I could have was the ham and like the ambrosia fruit salad stuff. Like,
ooh, that's good though. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good, but like everybody's eating, like you said, the mac and cheese, and I've got potatoes and all the desserts,
talking about
like every
dinner.
And I mean now I know what it is, and I make special stuff for it, like that I can have, because thankfully we live in a time where we have almond milk and we have egg substitutes and we have all these things, so I could purposely make stuff that I can have, so I'm not.
How is almond milk? I was thinking about making the switch.
Yeah, Nathan, do you milk your own almonds?
I help my own almonds, and it's a bitch.
Is almond milk good though?
I like almond milk. Yeah,
big flavor difference or no?
The vanilla flavor is actually pretty tasty.
Really?
Yeah, they're it's. I know people who actually just prefer it. But yeah, I don't drink it flat out. I use it for smoothies, or if I'm baking something, or cereal.
Your White Russians. Yeah.
My White Russians. I haven't had a White Russian. I didn't think about that.
You've never had one of those? Or with almond milk?
Yeah, since I've had the allergy, I haven't had a White Russian.
Yeah, I bet it's delicious, especially with the vanilla.
I guess it would matter on the Kahlua if it may have something in it.
It's a coffee liqueur.
Allergies, man.
Yeah.
Chobani, what is this?
Chobani is an oat milk.
Oh.
I don't really like oat milk.
I'm trying to get off of regular dairy because it makes me shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, definitely, almonds probably my favorite out of all alternatives. So.
I'll have to get some of these. Is it the price? Is the price different? Is it higher?
Not any different than regular cow's milk. I mean, I think it's actually maybe even cheaper.
No,
I recently
they don't have like gallon bottles of it, but I mean, yeah.
They don't?
No,
it's usually
get you one of those little. You get one of those little cartons in the baking area where it's like $1.
I'll just let the kids. So hold on, it's not refrigerated? You
can get it both. I mean, you put it in the fridge. I mean, they sell it on the shelf because it's.
Welcome to the Horse and Naked Discourse as we talk.
We're talking about diet. Yeah, you can get it in the refrigerated.
We're talking about the horrors of Nathan's allergies.
I sorry. Okay. Anyway. No show next week. We're all drinking almond milk. Anyway, no show next week. We'll come back on the 30th. We're going to talk Ghostbusters 2, as I call it, GB2. I remember trying to find the DVD when the DVD came out. I couldn't find it. My wife comes into the store where I was working one day. She's like, I got something for you. I was like, GB2? And she's like, yeah. I was like, oh man, I was so excited. I put it in one of the DVD. We're at Radio Shack. I put it in one of the DVD players right away. Customers are coming in and stopping and watching that, not buying shit. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about Ghostbusters. We'll have a year-end show coming up in December where we talk about our 5 standouts of 2021. Don't steal mine. Telling you guys, don't steal mine.
I'm sure some of us will.
Well, we'll come up with like Nate did with the list of home invasion movies. We'll come up with a list of 20 total. But if ours roll over, I think it'll be okay. No big deal. Or a list of 15, some shit. It'll be fun. So anyway, hit the subscribe button for more baking tips with Nate. And we'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess. 2 weeks. It's gonna be weird having a week off, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy what?
Enjoy
it, Kathy.
Watch Ghostbusters, Kathy.
Even if you don't like it, go watch it.
Go watch it.
Oh, Kathy. Well, the person that's watching along, like, who the hell's Kathy? Sorry, Kathy. I thought it was the Karen thing. They call the people who tell on people Karen.
Yeah.
Have a good night. We'll see you next 2 weeks from now. Bye.